Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Power Core Productions and Podcastings. I'm your host, Javon Harrington, and it's good to be back. I took a sabbatical, a couple of months, to get my mind, my body, my life, everything in order. And you guys have been waiting a long time for a story. Well, this is something that I have been crafting for well over a month now. I've gone through 4 different scripts to finally get something that I thought was palatable, something that I thought could make the most sense, and something that could work. That's right, folks. This is a crossover between Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen. With both series now officially wrapped up and with their sequel counterparts for Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto respectfully starting their runs or continuing their runs in the case of Boruto, these two stories have been given a lot in terms of similarities, from Kakashi and Gojo to the formation of teams, the use of techniques, abilities, and special eyes. So now, I want to see if I can merge these worlds into something special. Now, before we get into today's story, I do want to clarify that I am going to be taking liberties with certain aspects and characters from Jujutsu Kaisen to blend well into the Naruto world. Some characters I may use, some concepts I may use, others I might not use at all. So please bear in mind that this story has fluctuated and it can change at any given course in time. But all in all, I'd like to say that I'm very happy with how the final script came out. And with this story, we're actually going to begin with a prequel. This will be a 3-part prequel series before we get into the main portion of the story, just to give you an idea of where we're going to go with this. So, if you're looking forward to a new tale, a new crossover, a blend between worlds, something that I feel will rival and even surpass what I've done with Naruto and High School DxD, then I invite you. As today, we begin Naruto, King of Curses. What if Naruto was a Jujutsu sorcerer? The Cursed Jinjurki arc. But as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Mankind has always been cursed with death. From the day that you are born to the day that you take your final breath, you live a life filled with triumph and tragedy. For the people of this world, mankind is not the only thing that they must fear. A battle between man and curse that raged from its very beginning until now. A time of darkness when monsters and cryptids hid in the shadows. Humanity had to develop a way to fight against such forces. Through one being known as the Sage of 6 Paths, the art of Ninshu came into the world, uniting mankind in its fight against these monsters. But eventually, what was once used to join mankind sadly became its undoing. The development of ninjutsu, genjutsu, the brutal devastation of taijutsu, and the warped art of jujutsu. These were known as the 4 principles of the world. The 4 principles through which violence, chaos, and carnage came into fruition. The people of this world, they are known as shinobi, sorcerers, martial artists, and conjurers. All titles applicable. Through this, mankind developed but one of their creations, that of war. It led to a time of death and destruction, where now you are not only likely to fight against the evil spirits, but between your fellow man. Among them, in humanity, 3 great clans would arise: the Uchiha clan, the Senju clan, and the Gojo clan. Of all of the ninja clans, these 3 served as the great forces of power in the world, not just against other shinobi, but against the cursed spirits, who even the great ones themselves thought wise before challenging such powers. But there was one who did not believe in such fear. His name, Ryomen Sukuna. His power in the art of Jujutsu, mastery of ninjutsu, skills in taijutsu, and his craft of genjutsu, turning from a mere mortal to a force of nature, one so strong that throughout all of history, he was the one being that the 3 great clans joined together to defeat. After his death, a small window of peace would enter into the world. The 3 great clans, the Uchiha, the Senju, and the Gojo, would come together to form the Hidden Leaf Village, with other clans joining suit. Before long, this pattern would be adopted into the world. In order to survive, they had to join forces. Villages became safe havens, barriers that protected their citizens from the evils of both man and curse. However, this peace would not last. Other great spirits, known as the 9-tailed beast, roamed the surface of the earth, 8 of which were subjugated by the one who would become known as the first Hokage. The first Hokage distributed the tailed beast to the world in order to broker peace. But soon these creatures became instruments of war, from the first to the second, and now to the third. Our story begins at the tail end of the 3rd Great Ninja War, in its final year. A young and aspiring shinobi from the Hidden Leaf Village known as Minato Namikaze currently leads a campaign towards the northwest, holding off a stronghold against an army of stone ninja. However, the student of the man who would go on to become the 4th Hokage, one who has also suffered his fair share of heartache and pain, cursed in a world of loss. His name, Kakashi Hatake, currently towards the southeast, where the land of fire borders to the ocean that leads to the land of water, home of the Hidden Mist Village. Among a caravan of small islands, one of his teammates, the only one that remains, Ren Nohara, has been kidnapped. As our story begins, Kakashi raced through the forest. When word had reached him of Rin's fate at the hands of the Mist Shinobi, he didn't waste any time heading towards the shoreline. No, not again. I failed you, Obito. I won't let Rin die. I will keep my promise. Kakashi, wait up! Guy, I told you to stay back with the others and... No, I'm not gonna let you go off half-cocked on your own. If we're doing this together. I said no, Guy! I have to get to her. I won't let anyone else risk their life. You act like you're only her friend. Look, I know you're still messed up about what happened to Obito. And I can't tell you how to feel right now. But if you think going off to enemy lines all by yourself is going to change anything, it won't. If anything, now's the time for us to stick together and... The two young shinobi would stop in their tracks. Standing before them, another platoon that was coming from the coastline. Commander Masamichi Yaga, along with those in his current squad. Shoko, Utahime, Nanami, Suguru Geto, and the famed user of the Six Eyes, Satoru Gojo. We have our orders, Kakashi, Yaga said. We're supposed to be falling back to the Leaf. I can't. We know about what happened to Rin. Her squad got attacked over on the shorelines. For some reason, she was taken hostage. We believe it could be a trap. All the more reason why we should go. All the more reason why we shouldn't. I don't have time for this. I'm going to save Rin. I don't care who I have to fight. Calm down, Kakashi, Gojo said. The user of the Six Eyes, hiding behind a pair of sunglasses, ever cool and nonchalant as always. He was the one person that actually unsettled Kakashi. You want to save your comrade. That's admirable. But it's going to take a lot more than being admirable if you want to survive. How far away from where Rin was taken, Commander? It was said that the boat that she was carried on was heading to an archipelago, somewhere towards the southeast, towards the halfway point between the land of fire and the land of water. What if a small retrieval squad were to go out and retrieve Rin? How about that? It won't take too long. Besides, I'm the strongest one here after all. I doubt there's anything that we could come across that I can't handle. You know that the waters are dangerous, Gojo, Yaga would say. The seas are filled with the spirits of the dead, of those who have been lost. Curses that lie under the waters. It may be too much, even for you to handle. We both know you don't actually believe that. Come on. Worst case scenario, she's already dead. Kakashi gave Gojo a look at that very statement. I'm not saying she is, but if we keep wasting time trying to deliberate, she will be. Come on, just let us go. You know he's gonna run off regardless, and the last thing you want to do is deal with insubordination and more paperwork. We're in the middle of a war. We should be fighting against the enemy, not against each other. It's not like you, Gojo, Suguru said. You're hardly one to ever be so diplomatic. Well, what can I say? I like to wear multiple hats. Yaga had a bad feeling about this. But, to a degree, Gojo was correct. Fine. Hatake, Guy, Geto, Gojo. I'm assigning you to be a 4-man team. Your mission is to retrieve Rin Nohara and to return back to base. We'll set up camp here and wait for your arrival. If the situation goes south, you get out of there immediately. Understood. Alright guys, let's go. With the 4-man team now made, the boys would race over to the coastline where the battle had taken place. The bodies of both Leaf and Mist Shinobi aligning the shores, their blood soaking into the sand. Along the way, they could feel lower-grade cursed spirits around them. Geto absorbing them with ease thanks to his curse technique, his art in Jujutsu. Can't say I'm surprised, Geto said. When it comes to war, it brings out the worst in the spirits. Yeah, and without any barriers or anything to hold them back, they're just going to run loose and rampant. Is there any way that we can track her down from here? Guy would ask. Leave it to me. Gojo would flip up his glasses. Using the power of the 6 eyes, he was able to find faint traces of Rin's very presence. Of all of them, he was the only one who could see the soul. Even from a distance, I can tell that she's still alive. There, about 20 kilometers, among that cove of islands. She's there. You can tell even from this far away? Guy would say. Wow, those eyes of yours, there's something else. Well, I am the only one in my clan to be born with the 6 eyes. It's said that the last user fought alongside the first Hokage. Pretty impressive, don't you think? Always one to brag. It's not bragging if it's true. We'll use one of these boats. They didn't take all of them with them. We can use them to travel across the waters, devise a plan. As long as Rin's still alive, we can get her back. It didn't take long for the 4 of them to set sail. As they began in their direction, Gojo keeping a fixed eye on the island that they were going to approach, as Kakashi and Geto would go over strategy. It still doesn't make any sense. Why exactly would they take Rin? She's nothing more but a medical ninja. No offense, but I don't think she's someone who carries vast amounts of intel, and it couldn't have been worth that much trouble just to take her. What do you mean? Guy would ask. Isn't it obvious? Gojo said, looking out in the distance. She was a part of a squad that had elite jonin, commanders, leading officers. Yet they were all killed, butchered even. I'd have to say it was pretty over the top and gruesome. But they kept her alive. Do you think this is a trap? It most likely is. You know how the Blood Mist village likes to get. They're always fiending for battle. But if they only believe in the slaughter, Geto said, then that makes me wonder, why would they keep her alive? Their reasonings don't matter, Kakashi said. All we have to do is take them down, get Rin back. The others knew why Kakashi was on edge. It had only been but 6 months earlier when their comrade, one known as Obito Uchiha, tragically died during their mission to destroy Kanabi Bridge. Gojo knew of Obito. Back during their days in the academy, it wasn't uncommon for Obito to challenge the strongest in his class. Among them, Kakashi, Gojo himself. Of course, he always got his ass kicked, but he kept coming back for more. Always going on and on about how one day he would activate his Sharingan, and that his Sharingan would surpass even the Six Eyes. Yeah, mark my words, Obito would say. I will become the strongest shinobi in the entire world, and I'm gonna become Hokage. When are you gonna stop spouting all this bullshit, Obito? Not that I actually care, but if anyone were going to take the title of Hokage, it would be me after all. Just wait till I get my Sharingan. Your Sharingan? You're still wearing goggles. It's to keep the dirt out of my eyes. Back then, times were a lot more simple. However, the rage of the Third Great Ninja War, it had claimed many lives, many that had to bear the curse of hate and death, of sorrow, pain and loss. This world was utterly cursed. If we can tell where they are, do you think that they'll be able to track us down? Guy would ask. Hard to say, but it has to be more than likely if they're drawing us out this far. Gojo, how many shinobi are on the island? A good few. I'm counting at least 40, maybe even 50. And they've got some high level of power in there. And there's something else. What do you mean, something else? I don't know. It's straining even from my six eyes. It keeps fluctuating in and out, almost like they're trying to hide it. Hide what? That's the thing. I don't know what it is. It's just huge. Something huge. I don't like the sound of that. Do you think it's a cursed spirit? Who knows? The whole island could be crawling with them for all we know. As the sun would begin to set, the boat continuing to move along the waters, it started to get quiet. Extremely quiet. So much so that they could hear every time that the waves crashed against the side of the boat. Even out here, in the seas, despite them having the presence of loneliness, it felt as though they were being watched. And that's because they were. Gojo had decided to take watch over the ship while the others were trying to get some rest. By daybreak, they would be on the island. And when they got there was no telling what would await them. However, something else caught his attention. Stirring underneath the ship in that moment, Gojo saw clear as day what was coming towards them, as he rushed to get everyone awake and prepared for battle. Oh shit! Guys, wake up! Now! Huh? What's going on? Kakashi would rub his eyes as he lifted up his headband, his left eye still bearing the faint scar that he had only received less than 6 months ago. Even while it was healed, it had never gone away. But in its place, the parting gift that he had been given from a friend, the Sharingan. Geto prepared himself also, as Guy looked around to everyone wondering what was coming, and suddenly they saw it. A giant, monstrous sea creature. What the heck is that thing? That thing is a cursed spirit. What, they just lie under the ocean now? No, it was summoned. Domain expansion. Horizon of the captivating Skanada. Instantly, the boat that was now rocking in fierce waters, the time of day had switched from being in the middle of the ocean in the view of night to now being in a swirling vortex under the bright sun, a clear blue sky, and a seashore. Oh no, we've been trapped in a domain. Domain? But who could have done it? Him. A large, red, humanoid crustaceous creature standing on the waters. Yea, and perish all who enter into my domain. And who are you? Geto would ask. I have been called the Bane of the Ocean, whose souls fall into my territory. The lives of those who thought they could conquer the seas. I am known as the Maelstrom, the vortex of infinite cry. But you can call me Dagon. Dagon. He's a cursed sea spirit. We'll have to figure out a way to break out of his domain. For now, get ready. Innate domain technique. Shikigami. The four shinobi would prepare themselves as they engaged with the cursed spirit of the sea, Dagon. For Kakashi, this was his first encounter with a cursed spirit of such power. He wished he could have called on his sensei Minato. But for now, they were on their own, as the Battle of the Sea would begin. Meanwhile, on the island, Rin Nohara, her arms tied behind her back, her legs bound and her mouth gagged, looked on as the platoon of S-rank mist shinobi were fast at work. A sealing mark was on the ground before her. Many of them preparing, shuffling, moving materials. Make sure that the seal marks are in place. Otherwise, the Three Tails will go on a rampage, and all of this will be for nothing. I still don't understand why we're working with you. You were once a member of the Hidden Leaf, were you not? A masked figure said, his hair wild and strewn about all around him, as he carried on his back what appeared to be a giant sewing needle. Ah, come on, Kushimaru, a girl said, her teeth sharpened down like fangs, as she enjoyed a lollipop, two twin swords strapped to her back. The Mizukage vouches for him. He's the real deal, a turncoat. I still don't trust him, Ameyuri. Whether you trust him or not, it doesn't matter. Another one said, a young boy with a large blade that still dripped with blood on his back. We have our orders from the Mizukage. We'll work together as long as we need to. If it comes down to it, I'll take his head off myself. I see why they call you guys the Blood Mist Village, another voice said. You guys really don't know how to trust anyone, do you? From out of the shadows stepped a man. Short black hair, a scar on the right side of his mouth. Rin recognized him from the bingo books. He was once captain of the Ambu Black Ops, but had now defected and had become a missing ninja. Once hailed from the Zenin clan, a disgrace, exiled, and now the betrayer of the leaf. Toji Fushiguro. He walked past the other three mist ninja who spoke amongst themselves as he walked towards Rin and crouched down in front of her. Don't be scared now. I promise, this'll all be over very soon. You have an important role to play. You're quite unique, you know. Very few people in the world could be capable of what you can do. You're going to be our instrument for war. And with your help, I'll be able to get her back. Sir, one of the mist shinobi said, rushing into the dark and derelict room. We just received contact. The four of them, they've engaged with Dagon. This soon. Safe to say, we're ahead of schedule. But I don't want to be behind the 8 ball on this. Get her on the platform and get her prepped. I doubt that it'll take too long. Especially if he's with them. Do you really think this'll work? It's all about timing. Overwhelming force. It's the only way you can crush the Six Eyes. But what about the other one? The one known as the Yellow Flash. I have a plan for him. Don't you worry. The Leaf might be powerful, but they're not invincible. The Uzumaki fell, and they will too. Toji looked on, looking out into the night sky as the moon loomed overhead, looking into the direction of the land of fire. Just wait a little while longer. I'll get you out of there. Even if I have to burn everything. All right, enough wasting time. Commence Operation Three Tails. This concludes Naruto, King of Curses. What if Naruto was a Jujutsu sorcerer? The Cursed Jinjurki Arc, Part 1. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow as we continue with Naruto, King of Curses. What if Naruto was a Jujutsu sorcerer? The Cursed Jinjurki Arc, Part 2. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.